You know, I always thought I would have a cooking show growing up, and now here I am. Welcome back to One Soul's Recipe Corner. Today we are making Fajita Chicken Meal Prep. I really like this recipe because it's super easy to make. As always, you guys know I like to give you guys easy recipes because I know we don't always have the time or necessarily like the experience to be cooking elaborate dishes, but this is a super simple, fast and easy recipe to meal prep on the weekends and then have it ready to go. This recipe will it will give you 4 meal preps. You have 4 days worth of food with this one. The ingredients we are working with are some bell peppers. I have 3 of them. We have green, red, and yellow bell peppers, 1 yellow onion. Feel free to choose a white onion if you prefer that. I just prefer yellow onion. I like the taste that it gives. Then we also have 1 pound of chicken breast, thinly sliced. And then I also went ahead and chopped all of them into the same kind of size so that it's all cohesive when we're cooking it. Then we've also got a cup of rice in my little rice cooker. I love her, she's great. And then as far as the seasonings we are working with, we've got cayenne pepper, paprika, chili pepper powders. And then we've also got cumin, onion salt, garlic, regular salt, and cornstarch. These are going to be our ingredients for the seasoning that we're gonna prepare for the chicken fajitas. And then we've also, oh sorry, I forgot sugar. Sugar is going in that seasoning mix. And then we've also got olive oil that we will be cooking with. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set our stove top to a medium heat. We're gonna heat it up, but as we're cooking, make sure you adjust it so that the food isn't cooking faster than you're able to handle it. I think we all have been there when the food just starts cooking super fast and crazy. The slower you cook a food, the better it ends up tasting. While the pan is heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bowl and we're going to prepare our seasoning. This is not hot. Make sure you don't put it on a hot stove top. So we've got this over here. We're gonna start with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of 2 teaspoons of chili powder. I'm gonna be scooping 4 because this is half a teaspoon. 1 teaspoon, 3 and 4 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons, 4 half teaspoons. Just caught myself. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of ground paprika powder. Oh my God, I did half. Next, we've got 1 teaspoon of white sugar, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of cumin. This is my favorite spice to cook with. I love cumin. It smells so good. 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'm just gonna estimate half of my half. The only reason I'm using a half teaspoon measuring cup is because the teaspoon one is too big to fit into these. So mix that all together so that when we go ahead and separate it into our chicken and later on our veggies, we get an equal amount of everything. Now that our pan is heated up, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little drizzle of some olive oil, about a tablespoon worth. Add our chicken into the pan. Let me give this a little swirl. And in goes the chicken. Is it not hot? I don't get it. I'm so not used to cooking with a electric stove. The chicken is in the pot. I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit and just start to sizzle, and then I'll add in half the seasoning that we've prepared. Cooking with olive oil makes me feel like such a Mediterranean queen. Like, yes. Now that your chicken is talking back to me, I'm gonna go ahead and add in about half of the seasoning mix. I'm not too concerned about being exact on the half part because we will be cooking the veggies together at the very end with the chicken. So they will all get married and get to know each other very nicely. And I'm gonna start mixing it just to make sure it's all evenly coated. I completely forgot to turn on my rice. So if you have your rice ready to go, just click the cook on it because it's gonna take a second to cook and I wanna make sure we finish everything at the same time. Give your chicken a stir every so often just to make sure all the pieces get nicely cooked evenly. Sometimes what tends to happen is the outer pieces take longer to cook. So kind of like a penguin formation, bring the outer pieces inside and the inner pieces outside just so everything gets nice and cooked. We're already getting some really nice color in here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and bring my heat down because it is cooking a little bit too fast for what I'm comfortable with. Remember, cooking as opposed to baking is more of an art. Baking is very much like by the book. You have to follow every single rule. But when it comes to cooking, have some fun with it. Go through with it as you must. and adjust as you go. Now that our chicken has a nice golden color overall, what I'm going to do just to make sure, because I'm very paranoid about getting salmonella, is I'm gonna slice one of the thicker pieces in half, look at the color inside, and if it looks nice and white, then we're gonna go ahead and transfer it all into a bowl and set it aside for just a minute. While the pan is still hot, I'm going to go ahead and add in my onions. I'm gonna go ahead and let these guys sweat it out a little bit, get a little bit softer, a little bit more brown, and then we'll go ahead and add in our bell peppers. Okay, now that the onions have kind of gotten a little bit softer, gotten a nice brown color, I'm going to go ahead and add in, I'm gonna do half of each of my bell peppers, so half a bell pepper each color. Give it a nice swirl. I forgot, I lost my wooden spoon, which makes me very upset because I don't like cooking with these things. All our veggies are in there. I'm just going to go ahead and add in the remainder of our seasoning. Mix it all together. Now, our veggies are just about done, but I did want to make this point. The reason why you want to slice everything or cut everything up to approximately the same size is not only for presentation, food looks better that way, but also because you want to make sure everything is cooking nicely, evenly all throughout. We're just about ready. I'm gonna go ahead and add back our chicken into the veggies. Simmer for about 3 to 5 minutes just so everything gets nicely acquainted. Our food is done cooking, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that stove off and wipe this counter out. We're gonna go ahead and plate our meal prep. And that, my friends, is how you meal prep 4 meals in under 30 minutes. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna go eat this one right now.